How's it going, everybody? Hope we're all enjoying set 10. We got a deck profile for Yamato, green yellow Yamato, the leader from OP10 here for set 10. One of my favorite leaders I played a lot throughout set 6, including the Fortress build, which this list gives me a lot of vibes from. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you like these deck profiles, and also if you want to support me, I've got my TCG Player affiliate link down in the description. If you're picking up any cards, any singles off a TCG Player, clicking my link just helps support me. And also I have a coupon code for Netted Garden if you want any playmats. They've got a bunch of stuff, obviously one piece like the Whole Cake Island playmat or the Shanks one I use. You might see it in my locals videos. Also some Gundam, right, Don, a lot of different stuff. You can check out that link. I have a coupon code StrawHatPecan for 5% off. So check it out if you want to help support me. But we've got Yamato, a bit of a Fortress build, but also we've got mixed in a little bit more life trashing, right? Before it was pretty much just Onami, that dreaded double attack banish with our leader, but we do have some more options, right? With the new addition of the yellow 8-cost kid. But before we get into it too much, if you're unfamiliar with the leader, Yamato is a 4-life, green and yellow, 5k power, Land of Wano leader with double attack and activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 3 or less life, attach 2 Rested Dawn to one of your characters. This works really well to always be able to use like 8-drop kid, right? Attach Dawn to him. Also just a little bit more aggression, maybe some earlier turns, right? This leader was a favorite of mine, but it was never super good. It was never like tier 0. It's always just been around, especially with more good green and yellow cards, obviously, that kind of mesh with the aggression that you have from double attack, right? The reason that like Fortress build was pretty good is that, you know, you have a lot of aggression from just having double attack on a leader, right? So if you couple that with the defensiveness of the 8-drop kid and how hard it is to get rid of now, you got a good combo. Not saying that this is like an amazing deck, right? But it's a fun one to check out. Definitely if you are a fan of the leader. Set 10 has some new support. Real quick before we do go into the list, I was sitting around here just building lists. I didn't really mesh with it too much, which is why I scrapped it and kind of went with a more traditional build. If you look up right now for Yamato, a lot of lists are pretty much just centered around the 8-cost kid, because how good it is now, especially with the bans. But I really wanted to use this 8-cost and kind of go more of an aggressive route, including like cards like the 6-cost Robin, you know, to trash even more life. We got Darashi, which allows you to search that Robin. And of course, for 3 drops, including maybe something like a Brûlée, right? But for an overall more balanced list, I think something like this is where it's at. Getting into it, we've got 4-Kid Killer, our Supernova searchable blocker. 2/2/1, and then Dawn times 1 when blocking. If you have 3 more characters on block, you draw a card. Pretty good draw power. For a lot of decks, for primarily Bonnie, right? It was kind of expensive to have to attach a Dawn to something as well as Kid, right? Because on 10 Dawn, if you're playing out an 8-drop kid in like Bonnie, for example, it's 8 Dawn for the kid, 1 Dawn for lead ability, and then 1 Dawn to attach to the kid. So you don't have enough for Killer to attach to him to get the value of blocking, right? But with Yamato's lead ability, kind of knocking one of those out with that free attached Rested Dawn to something, you do get to use the Killer a little bit more often. So that's where the value comes from that. Other than that, I still think Bartolomeo might be one of the better options. Being a stat line of 3/4/1, right? It does prove to be pretty decent in the meta right now, with Mulgun being super popular. And honestly, with how much red is in the meta, I would probably swap this out for Barto, even though we can use the Killer a little bit more. I think Bartolomeo might be a better choice, but I want to play a couple of rounds before we, make that call. Then we got the 8-cost Kid. If you're not familiar, it's the 880. Don times 1 opponent's attacking. Opponent can't attack anything other than character's name uses Captain Kid. And then activate main once per turn. You can rest him, play out a 3-cost or lower character. Those cheat out our blockers and stuff to protect him. We got 4 copies of Rosinante, 2-cost blocker that, when one of your other rested green characters would be KO'd through effects or just battle, you can instead trash this character. We got 4 Hody Jones, really great card to go for game. 780 Rush, on play, rest a total of 2 of your opponent's characters and or Don. And then take the top card from your life to your hand. Of course, we can also use Yamato's leader ability, give him 2 Don to become a 710 Rush, which is really good. We got the new Smoker at 3 copies, 570, has Banish, a 7k stat line, and activate main, set one of your Don cards as active. That's really nice to use for just like another Don on leader. And the fact that the 7k Banish is really good to pressure your opponent's life. Then we got 4 the 2k Toshigi, 342. Whenever one of your other green characters other than Toshigi will be removed, you can set a rest his character. We got the 1-cost Bonnie Searcher for Supernova. Might find both of our kids, just a ton of Supernova in the deck. Then we got the Onami at 4 copies. Just on play, give one of your leader characters Banish. Super famous combo with this and Yamato, just double attack Banish, right? Since this ever came out, people have always been comboing this. And it is a great combo, right? Either forcing your opponent to lose 2 life in 1 turn or dump a lot of cards, depending on how much you swing. Then we got the new 4/5/1 Hawkins on KO, trash top card of your opponent's life. It's really nice. For Yamato, it's always like that trade-off of if you're going to just attach a bunch of Don to leader and swing big to try and pressure your opponent's life really quickly, or play out a character. Having something like Hawkins is good because, he's going to stick for the most part unless they can bounce it back to hand or bottom deck him. Or if they KO him, they lose a life, which is also really good for us. Then we got the Supernova Luffy Searcher. The 1-cost, just look at top 5 for a Supernova type card. It's really nice because it's just another Supernova type, like outside of green. So can search up the Bonnie can search up this, just do a bunch of searches. Really nice. It's just good to keep playing out things to, refill your hand. We got 3 of the new 8-cost Kid, 890 on play. You may rest his character, trash up to one of the top of your opponent's life, and then end of turn if your opponent has 2 or less life, which we would hope with us having double attack and trashing one off of this that they would. You draw 1 trash one, which is super good to cycle out any dead card in your hand. Then we're running our last 2k counter, the X-Drake. Active main, you may rest his character. If the number of your life cards is equal or less than your opponent's, you can rest a 4-cost character, which is nice to get rid of a blocker to keep pressuring with leader. And then it's an activate main, so they kind of want to swing at this afterwards, which is nice. Then we got 2 of the green 0-cost events, just trash a card, go plus 3,000. And then we got 3 of the Demonic Aura, very long name. Basically, you get plus 3,000 power for 2 Don, and then you can rest a 3-cost or greater character. If you do so, you can rest a opponent's cost 5 or greater character. Obviously, targets are not the best in this currently. I debatably also kind of want to cut the killer for the Bardo as another target of that. I think we will. I think the stat line is just super crucial in current meta. And I want to adjust to the both Mole Gun and also another option for this. Because right now we only had the X-Drake and Toshigi as like decent targets. Otherwise you're resting one of your characters. But this is also just a way to rest a blocker. Go for game late, right? Also plus 3,000 for 2 Don is not bad either way. And it's also Supernova, which is also why I put it in. It's searchable, which is nice, and it has a trigger, rest one of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters. Every green card event has that trigger. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's the list. I think, with the Bardo, this makes this a little bit more consistent. And if we're going to really push for game, we might not need our blocker up. And he's also 4K stat line, which is good, like I said, against the mole gun secondary effect. If they're going to use the mole gun to minus your kid and then pop a blocker like Rosinante, it's nice to have this out instead so they can't just get rid of the blocker and you can possibly save the kid. But yeah, that's the list. Let's get into games, see how it goes, test it out. A lot of people try a bunch of different events, but I kind of just cut it down to these two for a little bit more consistency. And also Rygo is banned. So if you look online for a lot of lists, they use Rygo as a 1 of or a 2 of or even more. And that is banned now. So have to adjust. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we got Robin. Interesting. We'll probably keep, we're going first. Interesting. Probably poke 7. To Don. I wonder, okay, they don't have, I don't know why they chose to go second. We can really dig for the kid. I think we will, because we have a lot of support for the kid and it might be really crucial in this kind of a matchup. And we got a 2K out, which is good to get. We do not pick it up. But we do get, I think I want to pick up the Hawkins, being a character that I can play out and sit, but also, you know, the smoker I think is probably a better option for next turn, because we can still swing 6 while establishing a 7K banish. So possibly them countering out the 2K. See, they go just 6 at life. And they're just, I guess they're going to play out a blocker. We'll just take... they trash the Darishi. Yeah, we'll just lose it. It's fine. It's a 2K counter to Shigi. But, yeah, the Saul. Okay. Yeah, let's go here. Actually, we can resend a Dawn Search. Just keep getting value. Like, if they're not going to... I did not mean to do that. If they're not going to swing at our block, or not our blocker, our searcher, we're gonna get more value of it, right? So we got 3K of counter essentially from one Bonnie search, and Doug 15 cards did not see our green 8-drop kid. They take the 5, which is interesting. But ooh, don't like that. Hopefully hopefully this attack will get eaten up into the Bonnie. Well, I would hope that the Bansh gets eaten up by the Bonnie, but they'll most likely swing the Kikanojo at our life. I'll take that because that's probably the only life that we'll get from, right? Because now they can't use the 6-drop Robin. Huh. Still have not found the kid, which is kind of sad. We wouldn't have been able to use it on 7 Dawn anyway. We can put out like 2 blockers, or like a blocker and a Hawkins. And still pressure life. Search, pick up another card. That's 4. Oh, I'm scared. So next turn, if they hit us with the 8-drop kid, they pitch a Dare Shoot a ramp, so they're going to be a 10 Dawn. We can defend an ace turn and an 8-drop kid turn. We have a lot of 2Ks, and I'm not going to waste it here because we might need to defend a kid. And another blocker. Okay, there we go. There's the kid. Can't use it this turn though. Let's search, pick up a counter if we can. I wish we could pick up the Shigi. Cannot. Unfortunately, we can only pick up the Hawkins, but that's still 1K. So this Bonnie has got us like 4K of counter. We'll use Smoker's ability, restand that Dawn. I think we'll play out a Hawkins. I also do want to force them to kind of block one. So I think a Hawkins. That's a 6 and a 9. I'm okay with that, given that they put out 2 blockers. Let's go 6. Double attack. They might take if they have the ace. but then that would hopefully force them to block out with a Saw, losing them one swing. They 0 cost a Kikinojo. Okay. We'll play out Hawkins. Attach to Don there. Swing 9 banish. And they block. That's good. And we'll play out a blocker and pass. So we have a blocker, a ton of 2Ks. We hope that 3 cards in hand. We also could, if we picked up any of those demonic aura events, we could have rested a blocker, but we also could no, we're pretty low on life, but they're also pretty low on resources. Like, I'm tempted to use the yellow one just to deny them more resources. The Yamato don't heal, but use it to pop our blocker. I think this puts us in a really good position, actually. They can't challenge our smoker, so that's just going to be consistent pressure, right? If they go 6 at us with the Kikinojo, we'll take, and then we'll just establish the kid. That, I think we just won off of that, actually. I think that guaranteed us the win. Yeah. Because they didn't even leave up a Don for Gum Gum Giant, which makes it even better math. We can go 9, and then that still leaves us... we can, like, use X-Ray, right? So go 9 Bandit, double attack, and then just stack all in Smoker. Got a Frankie, but I think we got it with a 12 and then a 5. Yeah, GG. They did it. Oh no, that probably came from life. We got a Lucci. He's picking Hawkins. I see that, so I'm gonna keep. I was thinking that would probably be my best bet. Will Luffy I guess pick up Bonnie, because that's our only option. Does he Brook? He probably has it, right? But we'll see if he does. He most likely does. We'll take the 5. We get Onami. Nice Spanish. Yep. There's Brook. Do we think he has a lot of counter? I do want to try to pressure that 7K. Nice. Loses Rebecca and a Rob Lucci. Next turn, we'll establish a Hawkins. So yeah, I don't know, like, if just chancing that he doesn't, but most likely he's going to mulligan for that Brook or just have it. 5 of us will counter 1, but I don't really want to. 5 KOs the Nami or the okay. Take. Got a Tashigi, so that's good. Rob Lucci to pop that. Okay. We'll probably Smoker. Swing 7 at Brook. Try and get rid of it. Cool. We got 2 and 1 to survive. Next turn we can even like try and banish them twice by trashing one of their life. Poke 5. Obviously they won't take the 5, so we'll get counter out of that, and then we can swing 9k banish at them. They got a Tempest Kick. Yikes. Okay, so we're most likely not going to get to swing with this. But maybe hitting them down to 2 life, trashing the 1 is our best bet, because then, you know, if this survives, we survive, we Hody the following turn. Yep. Oh, but they didn't have 10 in trap, but now they do. 7. We'll take. Oh, this isn't great. 3 for a Spandam. All right, so get back Rob Lucci. We're just gonna probably lose the following turn, which is unfortunate. Yeah, we just don't have enough counter to survive, unfortunately. This happens when you draw another lot of bricks. We do get a 2k and trash a smoker. Luckily, his thing we could get is if we somehow messes up his swings, or if he like prioritizes clearing. 5, we counter 1. We have 2 2Ks now. I would have probably just pushed for game there. I don't know. 9 Don. Is he just gonna pop it with like a Stussy? That seems like overkill. Because now I can go 9 and then 10. Yeah, if you don't have the counter here, it's gonna be rough. I mean, he does have 6 cards, but we'll see. 10, boom. So you got 10, 8, 9. Whew! He had a Jack and a Hina. That is rough. GG's. GG. What was my last life? 1k. Yeah, I really should have pushed for game, but you never know. You never know. I had a decent hand and I just trashed a non-counter with the kid. So I think his setup there is just like, okay, if you have Hody, you know, you have Hody. All right, we got Caesar Clown. We'll take first. I mean, just do the standard swing big club. Swing the Virgo. We'll just swing 8, I guess, a life, and then next turn we can swing banish 8 if he counters out. Picks up the counter event. It's pretty good. Well, now I'm tempted to search with Bonnie, but I'm also just tempted to swing for 8 because I don't. Okay, we get 2 2Ks. Interesting. If he leaves up 2 Dawn next turn, obviously I won't probably go banish swing. That would get it out early, right? It would force him to use the event, but 5. We'll take 2 searchers. Blocker. Okay. Well, that's also something. I can get rested. Swing 7. Yeah. Yeah, right. So we'll rest your blocker. Go 7. Just trying to get the 2 attached rested Dawn active. And this also kind of works as like a blocker, right? Yay, we got him to take. We'll pass. Just so happened that we had the X-Drake. Really good. Like kind of replacement to Ezo. Being like a 3 cost to rest a 4. A little bit conditional. However, it's searchable in the deck, so that's good. Oh, a complete side note. Are you guys excited for the anime to be off hiatus? I think that's over soon, right? I've been reading just like the manga primarily for a bit. But I am watching the anime for a second time with my fiance. We got the Karina coming down. That's a good card. Somebody pointed that out in my Caesar Clown video, that this is pretty good. It is not, you know, anything that you can bounce back, but that's like kind of perfect. It's kind of perfect. I can really pressure their life. I can maybe banish out their 2 life. Can possibly banish out their 2 life. That would hit them pretty hard. Or if we get everything out of their hand, like, it's also good. They left the Dawn open. Oh no. Okay, they lost 2 1Ks. But yeah, I believe the anime is coming back pretty soon. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm watching it with my fiance. Her first time through it, and we're like halfway through Wano, so that's exciting for Egghead to come back. It's always fun when I sit down and play against somebody who I've never played against, and I make a little bit of small talk before the game. I always ask if they watch the anime or like how far along are they, and either people watch the anime and that got them into the card game, or they played the card game and that got them into the anime. And normally when somebody, they're gonna pop my, oh, no, just 7 at us. Normally when people are a card game player first and an anime watcher second, I'm like, oh, okay, you're pretty good. You're probably gonna be pretty good. We'll take. That's actually perfect. We got an answer for our 8-drop. He has the 2-don vent open. We'll just swing 6 and then play out our kid. Hope that the kid survives. Would have loved like a top deck Hody. Blocks out of the 6, leaving up the, we know they have the counter event, right? I guess. Now, honestly, if I was gonna Hody, I probably would have done it right. Let's see. We'll play out the Bartolomeo and pass. I don't even know if Hody would have won me there, right? 2 blockers and 2 Don. We'd have to rest one of his Don and a blocker, but he has a bunch of cards in hand still. That is rough. That is rough, but then he's gonna have to remove. Okay, then that, yeah, gets it there. Unfortunate. I was worried about that. I was debating playing out the Tashigi, but then also the fact that he is minus 8k for the turn, it does not matter. He still has to swing here. Still has to swing there. Right, yeah. Oh. Yo, what if I countered out? What if I countered out? How much counter do I have? 2, 4. Yo, I could. I actually could. No, but then he just swings with Virgo. I was like, oh, maybe he'll have to swing with his blocker. No. Okay. Don open. We do it again. Oh my god, we actually can do it again. Actually can do it again. That's the thing. 5 of life. No, I just gave away my entire strategy. Unless he rests his blocker to block. And then I go 11, like 13. Oh no. That's not a blocker, no. 13. Oh man, I got him off of the, you know. Yeah, that is crazy. GG. All right, we got Yellow Captain Kid. Let's see. I honestly kind of want to keep. Hopefully we can hit his life pretty aggressively with a 7k next turn. Gets the Luffy Searcher out. Gets that Hawkins. Right, we might just have to not swing. Gets the Scratchman of Pooh. That is good for him. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping to just... Might have to take that 8-cost kid. We'll swing 7, get him to block out, I guess. Yup. And then we'll see that, yeah. That's a little unfortunate. 5 at us. We'll take another 8-drop. It's always like the time. Oh, Frankie. Interesting. He can't make anything a blocker. We'll go 6 and just play out the Hawkins. It's always like the turn where like you search out and pick up the 8-drop that you end up drawing into more of them, right? Maybe should put more 0 cost, but you know, with the yellow Captain Kid, you can trash him as well. 5 at us. You gotta make a 6-cost blocker. We'll take. Do I need to rest his Frankie? I think I'd rather give like 1k counter. Oh, he's okay. Never mind. I didn't think it was gonna be like this. I'm taking. We have a lot of counter. Okay, 5 cost blocker. Interesting. We're gonna go swing 8. Hopefully he takes for the resources, but then that means we can swing 7 again. Okay. We'll just poke 5 there then. That is a lot of counter, but you know, I only have 1 life. I do have a big hand. A lot of 2Ks. Okay, not a lot of 2Ks, but a lot of counter with the 0 cost event, and you know, that's the thing, is I don't want to really use too much of it right now. We're that awkward position where I don't want to use my counter, but we're at 1 life, so we will have to very confused. He takes. Okay. So he had nothing to flip his life over, right? But why not just split to try and kill me? I don't know. So we have 2 Dawn to work with. We can poke 5. 7, actually 9, because I'll use, but then I kind of want to use Bonnie Searcher, because I don't need to poke super big. He doesn't have a lot in hand. He's 0 costs. Interesting. Okay, so we'll use that there to cheat out that, play out this, search for counter. We find a blocker or a Luffy. I think we'll take the Luffy and we'll pass. Yeah, I don't know. There's way better math there to just split. I don't know. Definitely if you're in that situation. But I guess he didn't want me to, maybe that, okay. I think the reason is maybe he didn't have a lot of counter to defend his board, and in doing that, he kind of protected his board by leaving it standing, and he has so much life to kind of buffer it. So yeah, fair enough. Let's go search, pick up, counter, just counter, right? I lost my ability through that. Let's go 7 banish. The thing is, like, I have so much Dawn, I might double search with Bonnie, right? And then I can put out another blocker. I might need to. 2 Rosinantes. Or I could 8-drop Kid. Okay, loses that. All right, let's see. That could be really good. Yeah, let's go 5. Because I don't think he wants to lose his Rouge either. He takes. That means I can attach rested there. So I can swing 6. Because I have such a big hand to defend this guy. Okay. What do I trash over? Honestly, the Bonnie, I guess. We probably won't have more turns anyway. And then we'll swing 10. So this is his turn to... We should have probably just played it, like, not even swung 10 there. What do we trash? What dead card do we have? An 8-cost Kid. Holy crap, 10 cards in hand. So we have 1K, 1K, 2K, 1K, 1K, 2K, 2 2Ks, 0 cost that, 3 2Ks, a 0 cost to get rid of that. We have a lot of counter. We'll 1K, 2K. I just overcounted by accident. Oh my god, I'm stupid. I misclicked. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. What did I accidentally get rid of? I think I just overcounted by 1, right? Yeah. But okay. Well, we would have had it anyway. We can arrest this blocker with the event. So let's go 2, 1. Yeah, unfortunate. We overcounted by mistake. There is a setting on the sim to... Oh. So what we're going to do is prevent him from getting that by banishing that. So we're going to go this, buff, that. Haha. Attach to rested Dawn. That is 10, 12. That gets us there. Because he has 3 Dawn. That is a really good life. I'm going to be honest. That is a really good life to get. But even with that, I think we had it. GG. Very interesting matchup. But those are the games. Hope you enjoyed. Very fun list for sure. A little bit interesting with some of the matches. I think red still just does super well into green in this kind of format. Definitely a fun leader, I'll say. In the current meta, right, I don't think we can rely on an 8-cost kit as much with how much power reduction there is with the red side of the meta and how good it is into green. So maybe I would want to try a list to my original theory, or not theory, but like idea of more the yellow, like just trashing life, right? Being aggressive in that way. There's a lot of ways you can build Yamato, and that's the exciting part. I've made a bunch of different decks for this leader, and they're all just fun. Again, not saying it's going to be the best leader out there. Obviously, we have weaknesses into a decent amount of leaders in the meta, but definitely a fun one to check out. If you're a fan of the leader, we got some new support, and that's always fun. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more deck lists, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.